The story begins in the early 20th century when oil was discovered in Venezuela. For many years, the country was one of the world's leading oil exporters. The economy was booming, and Venezuela was considered one of the wealthiest countries in Latin America. However, this prosperity was not evenly distributed, and a large portion of the population remained poor. The government, buoyed by high oil prices, began implementing social programs to alleviate poverty. These programs were funded almost entirely by oil revenues, making the economy extremely dependent on the global oil market. In the 1970s, oil prices skyrocketed due to various global events, and Venezuela's economy flourished. However, this trend reversed in the 80s when oil prices plummeted. Since the country's economy was so heavily reliant on oil, this led to a severe economic crisis. Fast forward to the turn of the 21st century, Hugo Chavez became president and implemented a series of policies known as the Bolivarian Revolution. He nationalized key industries, including oil, and ramped up social spending, again funded by oil revenues. When oil prices were high, these policies seemed to work, and poverty rates fell. However, this was short-lived. Oil prices began to fall in the 2010s, and the Venezuelan economy, still heavily reliant on oil revenues, began to struggle. Mismanagement and corruption within the state-run oil company, PDVSA, also contributed to the decline in oil production. The economic situation worsened under Chavez's successor, Nicolas Maduro. Inflation soared, reaching unprecedented levels, leading to severe shortages of basic goods, a humanitarian crisis, and mass migration. Despite having the world's largest proven oil reserves, Venezuela's economy was in freefall. So, what can we glean from Venezuela's story? Firstly, it's clear that an over-reliance on a single resource for economic prosperity is a risky strategy. The global oil market is volatile, and countries that depend heavily on oil revenues can suffer when prices fall. Secondly, corruption and mismanagement can exacerbate economic problems. In Venezuela's case, the state-run oil company was riddled with corruption, leading to a decline in production and revenues. Finally, it's important to remember that wealth is not just about natural resources. It's about how those resources are managed and distributed. Despite having vast oil reserves, Venezuela's wealth was not evenly distributed, leading to high levels of poverty and inequality. So while Venezuela's oil has brought wealth to some, it has also brought economic instability and hardship to many. It's a stark reminder that natural resources, while valuable, are not a panacea for economic prosperity.